While not the Marvel zombies from the comics, there were several references to Marvel zombies in this episode. And I got the same feeling from watching this episode that I usually got from reading Marvel Zombies, as slowly person after person is picked off, and there's this overall sense of hopelessness because the thing about the Marvel Zombies universe is nobody really survives. If you survive, there's usually a continuation where you're more than likely gobbled up later down the line. Although I found it deeply interesting that they decided to have this set right at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War. After everything that happened with Hulk, Thor, Loki, and their encounter with Thanos at the beginning of that, which kind of means that Thor is still spinning around in space with the Guardians of the Galaxy around the time of this episode, but he never makes an appearance. But, Hulk is flung to the Sanctum Sanctorum. But the difference here is that when he gets there, no one's there. And as soon as he heads out, he's hit up by Obsidian and the Ebony Maw, just like in the movie. And just like in the movie, Hulk is helped out by Iron Man, Strange, and Wong. And, of course, Banner isn't able to transform into the Hulk because of Hulk's issues and all that. But when Banner is saved, he notices something strange is going on, and not just because the Doctor is there. The guys, Iron Man, Strange, and Wong, are attacking the two minions of Thanos in a very brutal manner, and they seem to be eating them? Yes! They have been turned into zombies and are consuming the minions of Thanos. And of course, Banner is just like, what the fuck? But he's saved by Hope Van Dyne, who explains the whole situation. Apparently, this is a world in which when Hank Pym went to go rescue his wife, after the event, or towards the end of the events of Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, when he picked up Janet, she had contracted this zombie virus. So she infected Hank. Hank went back to the normal world. Who knows what happened to Ghost? Probably perished from her disease or something along those lines. But she infected Hank. Hank came back to the regular world. He immediately attacked Scott. Hope was the only one to get out of all of that alive. So Hope has been desperately trying to build this resistance. And their resistance involves Peter Parker, Spider-Man, who's not really disguised himself because the world has gone to shit. Kurt, who was one of Scott's friends, the one who would always talk about the Baba Yaga and all that good stuff. Happy Hogan, Sharon Carter, Bucky Barnes, Okoye. So they're the only ones left at this point. Who knows how Happy Hogan and Sharon managed to survive all of this? And even Kurt, where was he that he survived? But I guess the other two didn't manage to make it. But because the Avengers, we're talking Cap, Hawkeye, Widow, Black Panther, and Iron Man, all of them had gone to stop this whole invasion, cut it off at the pass, which I guess means they made up. There are some things that just don't align with the continuity, because, all of them being together to confront this zombie outbreak doesn't quite make sense, but because the zombie outbreak, they said it spread within 24 hours, or was it 48? It was within the span of 2 days at maximum. So all of them coming back together and allying themselves with each other, it seems a little too fast for everything, but they were the first line of defense and they immediately fell. So of course Okoye is here with Bucky Barnes, the White Wolf, in order to try and find their king and all that good stuff, or potentially even a cure. So they've heard reports of a place that might potentially have a cure, but they have to find some form of transportation, so they go to the subway. And as they're investigating and trying to scope out the area, they split up, and Peter even calls them out on, like, dude, don't split up. That's how horror movies happen. Honestly, the jokes in this are kind of really hit or miss. Like, some of the comedy in this, it feels like they try to force a lot of the comedy in it, and a lot of it just does not hit for me. But again, that happened a lot in Marvel Zombies too, and not all of it hit for me there as well. So I'm like, on the one hand, it's not my favorite writing, but on the other hand, it's the writing I usually expect from Marvel Zombies. And especially Pete, he's cracking all kinds of wise. But as they split up, Happy Hogan is attacked and zombified by zombie Hawkeye. Sharon Carter is also attacked, but she manages to escape. Everybody else is also set upon by zombie Falcon, who just comes the fuck out of nowhere. And Okoye just splits him in twain. And the moment where she does that in front of Bucky is just like, he was your friend and I am sorry. And Bucky's just like, you know what? I'm not sad. It's just like, Bucky, dude, come on. Don't be a dick. So they manage to get to the subway, and thanks to Spidey, they're able to, get the subway car moving with Banner and all of them just, getting it all set to roll out. But unfortunately, Sharon played her luck a little too hard because blonde female zombie movie, of course she was done it as for some reason she's lingering towards the back of the train and is set upon by zombie Captain America. And we get this pretty cool action scene where Bucky fights off zombie Captain America and he finally gets that shield. Congratulations, people, you finally got Bucky with the shield. It just took the apocalypse of the world to get it. But unfortunately, their transport is only able to get so close to where they need to go. And during the battle against Zombie Cap, as well as the transformed zombie Sharon Carter, Wasp was nicked. She got grazed and was slowly starting to turn. And we had this fairly touching moment between her and Peter, questioning why Peter was so optimistic. And, he had lost so much, he just had converted into this realm of constant optimism, which was very contrasting to the original Marvel Zombies comic because, Peter in that one, he had consumed Mary Jane as well as his Aunt May, and he was absolutely guilt ridden because the zombies in that series, they had more of their faculties about them. The funny thing about the zombies here is they're still able to do all of their same stuff. Like, for some reason, zombie Iron Man is still able to use his repulsors with articulation. Zombie Strange and Wong are still able to make their portals and stuff. Even zombie Hawkeye is still a fabulous shot. And it's just like, should you really be able to have that much of your faculties to do your usual stuff? That seems like a bit of a stretch. But Hope decides to transform into her giant form in order to kind of walk everybody closer to where they need to go before she succumbs to the virus and passes out. Which, the moment that happened, I'm just like, oh, now you're just gonna have a giant zombie Hope to deal with at some point. Congratulations. But they get to this military base where they find that for some reason the zombies aren't going in and attacking them once they get there. And when they get inside, they find the Vision, and they find out for some reason the Mind Stone is putting off this signal that repels zombies. How that works, anyone's guess. They make it sound like the zombie virus is more of a mental conditioning thing. I wish they mentioned the Hunger Gospel at least once, but it's not a true Marvel Zombies adaptation. But, as they're getting a cure ready, they also find that Scott Lang has been cured, but unfortunately he's only just a head, which is a funny reference to the original Marvel Zombies comic where Janet was still survived, but she was still a head, but she was able to be cured of her zombie-induced hunger, the hunger gospel and all that, which most Marvel zombies would talk about back in the day. And, as Bucky is investigating to find a transport, he comes across a zombified Wanda. Because I'll be real, I was questioning where the Vision and Wanda were during all of this going on. I mean, Vision's an android, he wouldn't be affected by the zombie plague. But Wanda, who knows what would happen if she was a zombie, and I got my wish in finding out. And interestingly enough, much like a straight up reference to the Marvel Zombies comic, Bucky comes across T'Challa, who had been being fed on by Wanda because the Vision had kept him in order to just keep Wanda around and potentially heal him. And when the Bucky confronts the Vision about this, he explains that he was trying to cure Wanda but found that he was unable to because of her powers, and ultimately he was just keeping T'Challa to feed to Wanda, which actually happened in the Marvel Zombies comic book where Hank Pym had T'Challa strapped down and had been feasting on him, trying to keep his faculties, and I think he was trying to research something, but like two realities where T'Challa survives only because he was being fed on as a food source. It's really messed up. But at least in this reality, unlike the original Marvel Zombies where he lost an arm and a leg, here he only just lost his leg. Cold comfort, I know. But Wanda manages to finally escape, kills Kurt, devours him, and chases everyone through the complex. They manage to get to a transport, but ultimately the Vision doesn't go with them, deciding that he doesn't want to be without Wanda. Okoye also gets killed off too. So at that point, it's only Bruce, Peter, Bucky, Scott, and T'Challa. But both Bucky and Bruce stay behind in order to try to hold off Wanda in order to let the other three go so that they can get to Wakanda and hopefully figure out a way in order to broadcast the kind of cure wave, basically. So Bucky, for all we know, dies, and Bruce finally manages to get Hulk to come out after being swarmed over by zombies. And we do get an appearance by Zombie Hope as her giant form tries to grab the plane that Peter, Scott, and T'Challa try to leave on, but they manage to get away. Also forgot to mention that Doctor Strange's cloak just was kind of hanging around ever since Bruce was at the Sanctum Sanctorum. And whereas he had originally kind of clung on to Peter, the cloak then went over to Scott since he was just a head in a jar in order to give him some form of mobility. And so towards the end, it's only Peter, Scott, severed head, and T'Challa heading to Wakanda to hopefully find a cure, only for us to find out that Wakanda has basically been taken over by zombie Thanos, who has the Infinity Gauntlet and most of the Infinity Stones. And it's just like, how did you get zombified with the Infinity Gauntlet, man? But that's kind of the funny thing about the Marvel Zombie series in general, because they always manage to take over the biggest bad. Like, even in the comics, they end up toppling Galactus and devouring him and gaining the power cosmic. It is the most nuts shit possible. Marvel Zombies always goes off the rails. And was this a worthy follow-up to that? Not so much. It was very much light. Like, this was the shortest episode, clocking in at only 30 minutes, and that's including the credits. Like, they were rushing through this plot line at a breakneck speed. They were yada yadaing over so much stuff, which is so weird because a lot of the others, they tried to keep some form of context, like keep everything really in continuity. But I feel like when working on this one, they didn't want to spend too much time with it. It felt like they just wanted to be like, we did Marvel Zombies, don't ask us for it ever again, and just move on for the most part. So we'll see if there's ever any references made back to the Marvel Zombies ever again, but I'll be real, I very much doubt it. It very much feels like this was just the most one and done they could possibly get, and Marvel's just ready to move on from here. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think we'll ever revisit Marvel Zombies? What did you think about the whole What If Marvel Zombies? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you not feeling it because of how fast it was paced? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.